What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Quarterbacks, head coaches speaking yesterday after Ohio State practice as we are into this, really the first full week of camp. Texas is obviously looming. I think that probably changes the timetable a little bit for Ryan in terms of when he wants to name a starting quarterback. Everybody was available yesterday. Let's start with the man who's going to make the decision. Here is Ryan Day on the quarterback battle and where it stands right now.
They both have had good moments and moments where they're growing. The competition continues. But I will say that I've been pleased with the progress. We're not where we need to be. But if they continue to learn from the mistakes they're making and continue to grow off the plays that they're doing well and moving the offense and taking care of the football, then it's going to go right down to the wire. But ultimately, they got to take care of the football. I'm seeing growth for sure. I'm seeing great attitudes, great work ethic. The practices have been intense just across the board. I think they're doing a good job of leading right now. Now, where it goes here by the end of the week will be critical. This is kind of, I think Coach Guerreri said it's moving day, moving week, like it is in the PGA Tour, and that's kind of this week. So it's moving week.
No, there's a pretty good hint there, right? Moving week, and that we've kind of all circled Saturday. Where we think there's going to be a scrimmage. They're practicing Saturday. That, to me, feels like kind of the line of demarcation of, hey, even if they don't make it public after Saturday, by next week, if it's not known publicly, it'll be known in that building, kind of and honestly, it may already be. It may already be. I mean, we're not there anymore. We had access to the first 3 days, and we're able to see. And what I saw in the first 2 days was a very even split in terms of opportunities. A very even split in terms of how both guys were treated, in terms of they mixed the ones kind of across the board. But now they're behind closed doors, and so we don't know what's happening there and what this looks like. We know that Ryan's done this almost every year. He's had a quarterback competition. I think the only 2 years he didn't was the COVID year with Fields' second year, and then CJ with his second year. Other than that, they've had one every time, and they've kind of battled it out. The two guys in the middle of this thing this year, Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz, we've been over it a million times. They could not be more different in terms of upbringing or how they got to this point. And you're making a choice. Very much you're making a choice on what you're going to be offensively based on the decision that you make. We're kind of using the company line of, like, if it's the C.J. Stroud, Dwayne Haskins offense, well, then that's Julian Sayin. If it's the Justin Fields, Will Howard offense, then that would be Lincoln Kienholz. So that's kind of the way that those things go. Let's hear from the two quarterbacks. Let's start with Sayin and how he's staying ready when every throw is being judged. I can't imagine playing under that.
It's all about improving every day, and we're trying to make it so every rep is game-like, and even in 7-on-7 and routes on air, we're practicing like we're in the game and visualizing ourselves in the game. So I think it's really important. Coach Day has been on us about that. I
mean, can you Matt, everything you're doing?
No,
every single piece.
Those couple days last week, those 3 days out of practice when fans were there, and obviously we were out there. Like, that's not normal practice. Like, those guys, everything they're doing is being watched by everybody more than every little thing they do was being scrutinized last week. It's probably, like, refreshing for them to get back out there on Monday and nobody else is watching. It's just the team and the coaches and being able to play ball.
But it is in the brochure, and it is what you signed up for.
Yeah, and I think that, there's a reason we coined the phrase 10 feet tall and bulletproof. You need that by Texas. So you can be in a situation where you're in this pressure cooker, you're in this cauldron. We'll see who can survive it, who can thrive with every piece mattering, every throw being watched, every read being watched, every time you go in and out of the huddle being watched, how you lead, how you stretch, all of it. All the pieces matter. But at some point between now and Texas, one of these guys has to be emboldened. They have to feel like Superman. They have to be 10 feet tall and bulletproof. They have to be running down that tunnel on that Saturday morning feeling invincible. And that has to happen in practice. You can't have someone questioning anything going into that game. You have to feel like you have the answers to the test. And that's the job over the next couple of weeks. You're in a competition now. But for Ryan Day, his staff, his offensive staff, Heartline, everybody, they need to build one of these guys up to invincibility by the time they take on the number 1 ranked Longhorns at the Shoe at high noon on that Saturday. That's the job. That's the job. So there's going to come a time where this flips, where it goes from pressure cooker, questioning everything you do, coach them hard, to, oh, you're the man. That flips probably next week is honestly when it needs to. These guys are really likable dudes as we're getting to hear from them. Let's hear from Lincoln on the quarterback room and how he and Julian and even Tavian are kind of all pushing each other.
I'd say we're friends, honestly. I think just the past 2 years, Julian and I have developed a good friendship and good relationship towards each other. And then obviously with Tavian coming in this year as well, I think we're all good all cool towards each other, and we all want each other to get better and be the best we can.
Yeah, that's always a wild thing to be able to do, right? Because this is the one spot in sports where really only one guy plays. I mean, truly, just one. And so there's going to come a point where, oh, it's your job, and then I got to be supportive. And then if you're Ryan Day and you're everybody on that staff, you have to convince whoever doesn't win the job that they're critical, because they will be. I mean, you're going to have injury. It's going to happen. We won a national championship with a third-string quarterback. Like, it's going to happen. You're going to get dinged up. So when that happens, you've got to be ready to go. So that's the challenge, I think, and I think that's the psychology of the position that is unlike anything in sport.
So the 9th of August is going to be when we think they're going to do that scrimmage at the Shoe. I think it is important when you wake up Monday, August 11th, if you're 75-80% towards one guy, then you give him the reps with the ones, because after that you're only looking at about 14 or 15 practices before August 30th. And that needs to be, we have our ones offensively and defensively, and they need to go back and forth and make each other better in that 2-week span.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Like, to juggle around with this next week, I think would be a detriment to the overall team success. Because I know Ryan Day talked about how this quarterback competition has been good for the entire team. And I agree. But there will come a point where you are doing your team, I believe, a disservice if you don't give them at least a week and a half, 2 weeks, where they all can know and see it and work with the starting quarterback of the offense.
You have too many moving parts.
Because Texas is doing it right now.
Yeah, you have too many moving parts to not have it that way. There's too many new faces. It's a new running back room. Defensively, there's new guys, some places here, new tight end. I mean, you have to. Ryan owes us nothing. He doesn't owe the media nothing. He doesn't owe the fans anything. Like, they can keep this up as long as they want. But in their building, there needs to be, that's your guy. Follow him to freedom. I do think that. I think that's true.
Every year when we're having this talk, because it seems like, as you mentioned, Bo, since Ryan Day has been here, there's only been 2 years, really, where we've had a returning guy, and we knew who it was for the Buckeyes. Every year when we have this talk, I feel like, man, it sure would have been nice if we would have blown somebody's doors off last year and got a whole half for one of these guys or a whole quarter for one of these guys.
Yeah.
Let's just go out and beat somebody 70-0 and have one guy play the third quarter and another guy play the fourth quarter. But it just seems like we don't ever get that.
Week 2 and 3, you have your opportunity. I would advise them to take full advantage of said opportunities. But you got to get past Texas first.
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, Reese, on 3 things he wants to see from the Buckeyes on a Saturday, his third thing every single week, I think, except for maybe the Michigan week, was I want to see, and you and I would talk about this all the time, Reese, we want to see Kyle McCord operate the full complement of the Buckeye offense.
Yes.
And it never happened.
Never.
It just never happened. Like, it was, they couldn't separate that year, CJ's last year. They couldn't separate the way that you needed to separate to be able to give him the full complement of the offense. This year, I think it's a little bit different, because whichever one it is, Kienholz or Sayin, they need not only all of the reps leading into the Texas game, but then they need games. Like, they need to play into the fourth quarter against Grambling and Ohio. They need to do that because they need to rep it. There's no game experience here, man. None. I mean, Kienholz in the most ridiculous fashion ever, and Julian's played how many snaps? I mean,
I believe
not much.
I believe I heard yesterday Julian has 5 college passes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like you're starting over. So that goes back to that thing that I'm talking about, that the crossover from pressure cooker, accountable, riding him like Seabiscuit to, oh, you're Secretariat. That's where we are now. Just stay out of his way and let's build him up to be a super. That's what has to happen probably next week. That's my guess on the timeline for this thing. We'll see.